It is very difficult to determine whether we have, with all our inventions and scientific progress, actually moved forward towards a better life, or the progress is plainly superficial. The world being governed by bureaucrats, pharmaceuticals, rigged search engines, computers and its twins, namely hardware and software, not to forget GDP numbers that display so-called growth, which in turn is determined by the super rich vis-a-vis the commoners. Mankind has been subjected to fevers, pandemic, and diseases or conditions like diabetes, heart-related ailments, AIDS, cancer. The list is endless. Research is backed by both private pharmaceuticals and governments for diseases spreading widely. But for a newer and rarer health condition, the speed and execution of research is a concern by itself. This is Hiroo Thadani, an Indian resident residing in Mumbai. He is 80 years old, fun-loving and a healthy individual, an industrialist, a voiceover artist, and a singer by passion, head of a lovely family. But then, he got struck with ALS. In his words,
accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you have chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your life and you will be happy forever.
ALS is a condition that has caught the world's attention. So what is ALS?
You may have heard about ALS through the Ice Bucket Challenge, or perhaps you know it as Lou Gehrig's disease, named after the famous baseball player who had ALS. But what is ALS and why does it matter? The full name for ALS is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which sounds even more confusing unless you know what the words mean. Lateral sclerosis means that motor neurons, or the nerves that run up and down the spine that control muscle movement, slowly wither and die when people have the disease. Without those nerves to tell the muscles what to do, the muscles become weakened and paralyzed. That weakening of the muscles is what amyotrophic, the A in ALS, stands for. As the nerves stop working and muscles become paralyzed, a person with ALS gradually becomes unable to walk, use their arms, talk, eat, or even breathe without assistance. Eventually, the paralysis leads to the patient's death. Most ALS patients live 2 to 5 years after diagnosis, though a few live much longer. Nobody knows what causes ALS, and there is still no cure. In a few cases, it is passed down through genetics, but most of the time, there's no family history of the disease. It can affect anyone. In the US, an average of 15 new cases of ALS are diagnosed every day, and about 30,000 Americans are currently living with the disease. It's most common in people between 40 and 70 years old, though it can affect people at any age. For some reason, military veterans and athletes are more likely to be diagnosed with ALS, and no one yet knows why. Though there's no cure, that doesn't mean there's no hope. Technology, ranging from electric wheelchairs to computerized speech generators, allows patients to overcome limitations and live fuller lives. Researchers are working on finding a cure for ALS, funded by donations from programs such as the Ice Bucket Challenge and the Walk to Defeat ALS. An increased awareness of the disease has helped change public policy, so ALS patients can more easily get the help that they need.
Mainly in Asia, ALS and its awareness is as good as nothing. In fact, the Ice Bucket Challenge is perhaps the only time the young must have heard of ALS. But here is the scary part. ALS is pretty common in India. According to the Foundation for Research on Rare Diseases and Disorders, the frequency of ALS cases in India is 5 in every 100,000. We are at a juncture where we know the disease, but there is no awareness for people to come forward, Even if they come forward, they realize there is no solution yet for their condition. The world has seen some heart-touching films on ALS from the West, but no patient from this side of the world has ever been showcased, this being the very first. The developed nations have to pay heed that India has its roots in understanding life, death, and pain, as it is the land of the oldest known civilization, a land of yoga and Buddha, a land which has given Vedas and Gita, a land where Ayurveda, yoga and naturopathy, Unani and homeopathy represents the alternative systems of medicine. Hiroo, being an Indian, amalgamated all these alternative medicine forms in his approach to pave a new path to understand and accept ALS, and included mind and body healing, a holistic approach. The results, as far as Hiroo is concerned, have helped him in his recovery, however small, against a progressive ALS.
Your personality has been in fact increased to more than 30-40%.
Wow.
than it was, and आपका चेहरे पे जो रौनक है, जो शाइन है, जो ब्राइटनेस है, it's mind blowing. I'm not flattering, I'm telling the truth, nothing but the truth. So you are looking better, 30% better than what you were, because of your meditation, because of your efforts, and because of your power of the soul, which is reflecting on your face.
Thank you so much for that.
So,
I am so happy to have you. I always miss you. I miss those days when we used to have so many parties
here.
I
Lovely
miss
song.
you while we were gymming together.
Yes.
And we used to love each
Yes,
other
yes,
so much.
yes.
I am so happy to have you.
Yeah,
Well, this condition
Yeah.
has taught me a lot.
yeah,
How to sustain.
yeah,
The philosophy of sustaining
yeah,
is very important
Yeah.
when you go through certain difficult
yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah,
My family, my friends,
yeah,
my life guide, I have a life coach,
yeah,
I have a physiotherapist,
yeah,
I have a doctor
yeah,
who is doing my acupuncture.
yeah,
Yeah, I have a wonderful team.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law,
yeah,
Monisha,
lovely,
my son,
lovely son.
my daughter and son-in-law overseas.
Oh,
My son-in-law came especially to see me.
yeah,
Now my daughter should be coming.
yeah,
I'm holding on to it.
Yeah.
I know it's tough. But
you are a fighter. You are a
I'm
fighter.
trying to see that
Definitely.
I keep up my courage
Yes.
and come to the expectation of my friends like you.
After your ALS was confirmed, your first few weeks,
Early January 2021, while I was working out with my trainer, I realized that my left arm shoulder is hurting, and I ignored it for a couple of days, but it continued. And that particular shoulder pain was increasing by day. The first few weeks, I tried to go on with my life and push down the painful feelings whenever they emerged, which was like trying to clog an active volcano. One fine day, when the doctors declared that this pain is not ordinary, this discomfort is not ordinary, this flickering, twitching on your nerve system is not ordinary. It is a ALS. This disease can be slowed down with some medication, but it can't be cured. There is no conclusive treatment, and the person has to continue to remain in this condition and accept it and work on it to ensure that he or she is able to continue with the routine, continue with the life. This is what I am doing today. I must accept and I must say that I have collected my guts, courage, a spiritual strength by accepting this particular condition. That after accepting how I am dealing this particular condition with smile, with joy.
When I first heard that my father had ALS, I was in complete shock. I was numb pretty much. There was no way someone like him, who was so disciplined and so health conscious and who did everything right, I had no reaction for months together. I had no reaction the first time I saw him when I visited him in India until the time I left, because I was very aware of what was going to happen and what the future was going to bring. But seeing him so strong, smiling, almost believing that this is going to go away and a miracle is going to happen, and new medicine's going to come out, it just seemed like, okay, we'll deal with it. And maybe something good will come out. Fast forward to probably 4 months later, and he's wheelchair bound, incapacitated, needs 3 people to help him. But he is a fighter. He hasn't given up. He spends every moment of each day getting well, having a better quality of life. Although modern medicine has no solution for this, he's trying all kinds of holistic things, massages, oil therapies, homeopath, Ayurvedic. He, despite of a lot of pain, tolerates physical therapy, but at the end of it all, he is so positive and so sure he's going to be well. And even if and the time that he realized that he's not going to get well was probably a few days ago. We all cried as a family. He cried too. It took us about 2 or 3 days to get over it. But he's back, and he's smiling, and he's exercising, and he's cracking jokes and making us all laugh, and we're having a good time. And that's my father. A fighter, a positive man with a brilliant brain and an amazing soul. God give him strength. God give us all strength.
What thoughts crossed your mind?
What to do when the life hits on your face straight and pulls you out down on the earth?
जीवन के हसीन पल को मैं जब कर रहा था पार.
Life is beautiful.
जीवन के हसीन पल को मैं जब कर रहा था पार, सारा जहां था बस अपना यार.
Life is exciting.
दोस्तों ने कहा मुझसे, रहे खुश नसीब और जवां हमेशा. तब से रहता हूँ मैं सदा जवां.
Life is wonderful. But sometimes it hits you in the face. One moment you soar sky high, the next you crash into the ground like an old building during an earthquake, shattering your world without warning. This has happened to me.
हाँ, एक वक्त ऐसा था जब मैं तेरे जैसा.
There is nothing to prepare you for emotional sucker punch But in my case, I have decided to deal with kindness, with an acceptance.
I was with Dad when he got diagnosed for ALS. Till then, I had no idea what ALS was. I'd never heard of the condition. As I began understanding what ALS was, it absolutely filled me with a sense of dread and total disbelief that something like this could happen to a person who was literally at the top of his game at everything. He was living life to the fullest, a health fanatic, a fitness buff, in charge of a multi-million dollar company, traveling all over the world, motivational speaker, singer. If you Google Hiroo Thadani, you will know all the activities that he was involved in. And that a condition like this could hit a person like him, it was just ridiculous and beyond belief. It took me a long time to fathom it and absorb it. But he hit back full Hiruthadani style. He caught the bull by its horn and very slowly, very surely, and I must say very painfully, started turning the whole thing on its feet.
As time went by and other symptoms of pain, weakness and losing control of your hands etc. happened, how did you cope up with your thoughts and what made you readjust your thoughts towards positivity?
It's about 9 months that I am going through this condition, a very tough condition, but I have decided to heal through spirituality, through breathing, through my willpower, through support of my family, mentally, physically, financially, my loved ones, my lovely friends who are so supportive. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Rocky Balboa said, "You, me or nobody is going to hit as hard as life." But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
It's only a strong man that, gets hit hard, falls, but gets up and still moves forward. And that's basically what that movie line was trying to say. And Hiroo epitomizes that line because he's been hit hard, very hard, but he got up and he's moving forward.
Today, what do you tell yourself to keep yourself motivated and happy?
Philosophy of power of now has motivated me big way to handle my condition which I am going through. Number 1 New York Times bestseller, The Power of Now, author Eckhart Tolle argues resistance to pain is what causes suffering. When you are hurt, confused and your head is spinning with speed of a very crazy speed, the last you want is some semi-spiritual wisdom about acceptance. Yet it is exactly what you need. First and foremost thing which you have to work on is acceptance. That's the starting point.
Papa for me has always been the most ideal role model that I could have all my essays, all my talks, anything. If anyone asks me about who my role model is, I would always say my grandfather. That is because of the way he's led his life and the kind of balance that he's maintained between work, family, his passion, his fitness, his health has just been remarkable. And hearing something like this happen to him has just been really heartbreaking for all of us. But just seeing the way he's dealing with it and the way he makes us feel fine and keeps us positive is just the reason why I respect him 50 times more. And he's just been a constant pillar of support, always giving his guidance and sharing his wisdom with all of us, especially us grandkids. And he is someone that we always look up to tell us what is right and what is the best way to move forward. And I just feel that right now, everything that's happening, he's giving us another amazing life lesson, which is that how unpredictable life can be, but it's just about the way you take it and the way you handle it. It's all based on that, about your attitude and your behavior. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't take anything for granted. And I just want him to know that he is literally one of the most special people that I know. And just much love to you, and thank you for everything that you do for us. Love you, Pops.
This is Hiroo's healing routine once he was diagnosed of ALS positive.
Good morning, Papaji.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Hiroo Thadani has approached my clinic to find different options with traditional and energy medicine which can help him combat the disease and win the disease. In the 4 months that I have treated him, I have found his spirit to be extraordinary. He is fully aware of the consequences, but he has decided not to give up. And he has succeeded in relieving all the symptoms. There is no pain, no swelling, no difficulty in swallowing, appetite is good, sleep is good. He has in fact defeated the illness.
Shavasana, or the dead pose. In this, you have to imitate a dead body. The purpose of Shavasana is to relax your body completely and awaken your consciousness, awaken your spirit.
आप अभी सुर में गा सकते हैं। आप अगर अभी भी सेल्फ करेक्शन कर सकते हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है।
My name is Renu. I am a close friend and life coach to Hiruji. My first reaction when I heard about his condition was not to make him a victim, but come out as a winner, because I knew his spirit was unstoppable, unbelievable, unbreakable, undefeatable. So, with positive thinking, shavasana, deep breathing, om chanting, and positive affirmations and visualizations, which I got him to do as part of his daily routine, has helped tremendously.
Finally, you have evolved a philosophy called sustenance, honoring and accepting now. Your brief thoughts?
Just nothing prepares you for all this which has happened to me today. Nobody's life is entirely free of pain and sorrow. Isn't it a question of learning to live with them rather than trying to avoid them? The greater part of human pain is unnecessary. The intensity of pain depends on the degree of resistance to the present moment. Or you may put it like this: the more you are able to honor and accept the now that is present, the more you are free of pain, of suffering.
Hello everybody, my name is Vinay, I'm Hiroo's son. For me, Dad has been always a complete rock star. Whether it was his work, his exercise, his passion, he just did it so well and with so much of peace. He had given time for everything in his life. And when we got to know that he's been diagnosed with ALS, which was around May of 2021, it was, we couldn't believe it then, we can't still believe it. I don't know from where and how, but as he keeps telling me that, when the going was good, you never questioned it, but when you got something which was not as per your requirement, why do you question it? It's all destiny, it's all God's will. But I'm sure with his determination and his positivity, he's going to beat this one too. As I said, for me, he is a complete man and a total rock star. God bless you, Pa. I love you.
Hiroo is walking with the pain of ALS, making it a part of his life and understanding the importance of now and today. He believes in thinking and being positive in outlook and actions. His path in his journey through ALS perhaps may help others seeking relief from this condition in some form. Imagine a world where all forms of alternative medicines in the world are considered along with modern medical sciences to make ALS patients' journey to infinity easier and hopeful. The American president had tweeted, and I quote, "Today I signed the Accelerating Access to Critical Therapies for ALS Act, thanks to a movement led by patients and caregivers and bipartisan members of Congress. We are finally closer than ever to new treatments and hopefully a cure." We can't end this film on ALS without having a perspective of India and sharing Lord Krishna's quotes from the Bhagavad Gita. Objective conditions are always neutral. It is how you react to them that makes them appear sad or happy. Work on yourself, on your reactions to outer circumstances. This is the essence of yoga, to neutralize the waves of reaction in the heart. Be ever happy inside. You will never be able to change things outwardly in such a way as to make them ever pleasing to you. Change yourself, for change is positive.